if you're breaking out and you're having not skincare issues, but if you're like breaking out and you're always like, why is my skin like this? Or why does my makeup come out weird? It's because your blender looks like this. If your sponge looks like this, that's why your skin's breaking out. Okay, save your money. You don't have to go to an esthetician. Just go ahead and clean it. But with that being said, I'm gonna do a facial tonight. No, I'm not. Got me the dirt so the dirt don't hurt. I was on YouTube, Simone's podcast came up, and I was just like, what the heck? And then I started watching it because Jackie Hill Perry was on there. And I used to like Jackie Hill Perry a long time ago, but for some reason I just like stopped watching her because she's just like really chill. Like sometimes I want somebody to just yell at me, you know what I mean? Like I want to feel something. And she's just so calm and pragmatic and like logical. It's like, girl, click, I'm turning this thing off. I read Jackie Hill Perry's book. I feel like right in the middle of right at the beginning of the pandemic. I thought it was the middle. Because I think everything had been shut down. I'm in Florida, so nothing was shut down. Everything had been shut down for like a good 2 weeks at this point. So I was like, oh, okay, this thing is gonna wrap it up soon. LOL. Yeah, so I used to watch her a while ago, stopped, saw her in watched one of her own podcasts with her husband. And I was like, oh, she's so cool and like super smart. I forgot about that. And I just love how she articulates her thoughts. My lips are so dry, hold on. One thing that I hate with double hatred is when somebody really tries to talk to me in real life and their lips are just as dry as the Sahara Desert. Like I know for a fact you feel your lips are dry. I know for a fact you feel your lips are dry. Why are you sitting here talking to me when you should put some Vaseline on your face, on your lips, silly rabbit? But I'll link it in the description, but I'll just give you guys like the rundown of why I wanted to bring this up. Jackie Hill Perry said something that I was just like, OM jizzle. So she was like, you know, I remember reading this in her book. She started dealing with a lot of different issues. Like, I think she went to jail at one point and she got arrested for like stealing. But she was like stealing clothes because she was a full-fledged like marijuana addict, which is like, oh my gosh, no judgment from me, of course, but girl, like who the heck is addicted to marijuana? I mean, a lot of people are. It's honestly really sad and like, it really sucks. But yeah, so she was like addicted to marijuana and she would, like before she went out at night, what would she do? Hold on, LOL. She would steal an outfit before she went out to the club and then she would use the money to buy weed. The money that she would have spent on the outfit, she would use that money to buy weed. And she ends up like getting caught. I think one of her friends like got caught and like she was with her friend while she was stealing. And so they both got caught. And it was like really funny how she was talking about it, but she was saying like it was just one thing after another. Like she was stealing and went to jail. Then I think a car that she said that she got off eBay, was like repossessed or something, or it was broken into. But I just love hearing those types of stories because it's so easy to look at someone like Jackie Hill Perry and where she is now with all of her influence and all her success and think she's always been like that, but clearly, you know, she hasn't. And I just love the story of it all. She was like, you know, God was putting me in these situations where like I had to turn to him. She was like, and it was actually really upsetting me because even though I knew God was real, I didn't want to deal with him. I didn't want to believe God. I didn't want to have to love God and stuff. And she was like, it's really easy. Like people will look at their lives and if they have a lot of prosperity, they assume that because they're prospering a lot, that means that they are successful in life. And she's like, or like they're blessed. And she was like, and a lot of times God will use adversity. I'm paraphrasing. She's like, a lot of times God will use adversity to actually bring you closer to him. So it's like a blessing. Like when you're struggling and like you're miserable and maybe the enemy's attacking you and maybe it's just you being a goofball. But yeah, so she was like, yeah, like you think that like God loves this person more than you because they're quote unquote more blessed than you. And also it's like, you don't know if someone is more blessed than you just because they have money. Like sometimes the only blessing a person has is their money. So it's like, they're not necessarily more blessed than you. They're just blessed in a different way. She was like talking about that. And I was like, that is so freaking good. And then she was talking about her husband. And I was just like, Just so happy to hear that, because I forgot. You know what? You know what's so funny? Her husband, she's like with her husband, because her friend, well, not her friend, but the girls on the podcast were like, so how did you meet Preston? And she's like, me and Preston were friends. So basically, with her and Preston, it's a really interesting dynamic because she was gay. Like, she was a gay girl. And they met at like a poetry convention or something. How freaking cute is that? Like, how cute. Like, imagine being like, yeah, I met your dad at a poetry convention or whatever, poetry concert, poetry showcase, I don't know. But imagine being like, I met your dad here, and just like, it was snaps of it all. Like, it's so cute. And I guess he was like a hoe, like he was like a slut. And she was a little gay girl, and they were just like bonding over, I don't even think they were bonding over it, but I think that like they became friends. So I think at that point she had gotten saved. Yeah, by the time she met him, she had gotten saved. So the girls were asking, Jackie about her husband, and she's like, you know, we weren't thinking about marriage, we weren't thinking about any of that, because she was like, I was just trying to figure out how to be a believer. Because her whole thing was that, like, the reason why she really was concerned about the whole like God trying to talk to her and stuff, because at one point she even said like, I think God is trying to like get to me, I think he's trying to tell me something, right? The reason why she was so concerned about that is because she was like, I don't want to be straight. Like, I can't be straight. I've liked girls pretty much my whole life, I think. I'm paraphrasing. And God was like, look, just focus on me and we'll figure everything else out. Like, God is so, it's just gets so emotional because he loves you so much. Oh, so sweet. We'll figure everything else out, babe. Just focus on me, babes. Whew. So then from there, she, I guess, like ends up getting saved, and like she starts going to a church. But I think she said that the church was like low-key a cult. Is that like a thing, Lord? Like why do you keep bringing your sons and daughters into cults? Why is that? Like, it's like everyone's story is like, I got saved, I met God in a very personal way on my own, and then I ended up in a cult. Like, what is going on? But I guess it's because like when you first get saved, you don't have that much discernment to like even know you're walking into a cult, and then once you're in it, you're like, it's giving Kool-Aid. So they're talking about like her husband and stuff, and she's like, I was not thinking about that. Like, I just was like trying to figure out how to do God, right? And she said her whole focus was basically on works, which makes sense. Like, I can see her being someone that's very pragmatic and being like, okay, God, I go to church, I love you. Or, okay, God, I read my Bible, I love you. But yeah, so she meets Preston. They're friends for a couple of years. And she starts to like him. And she was like, because I'm sure that was crazy for her. Because imagine being a whole gay girl and then out of nowhere you start liking niggas. Like, and not just any nigga, like, a nigga you know used to be a slut, a nigga who's been like on this journey with you. Like, that's just different. It's not like you like it's not like you like Morris Chestnut, or you like, who's a hot celebrity nowadays? I can't think of one, because these niggas really aren't what they used to be. But you know, like, it's not like you like a nigga that's like, you know, that's far from you. You like someone that you already do life with. So that had to be a trip for her. Because whenever I like someone, I feel like so like, don't tell them, oh my gosh, like, what the heck, you know? She starts to like him, and she was like, you know, she's like, Lord, like, I know that the man is supposed to pursue the woman, so if you want this to be a thing, like, then you need to put it on his heart to pursue me. And then I think she said the next day, or like really soon, not too long after she prayed that prayer, he called her. He's like, hey, I feel like the Lord is putting it on my heart to pursue you. Like, could you imagine if somebody said that to you in real life? I don't know what I would do. I feel like I would start laughing or something. Like, what? I feel like I would start to spaz, because I'm putting myself in her position right now, because I do that with every story I hear. And literally, if I prayed to God and I was like, God, if you want this to be like a thing, because think about it, God is not like us. We're the ones who are like, oh, let's do a fling, like, let's spice things up, you know, I want something exciting, I'm bored, right? God is thinking long term. He's thinking about your kids. He's thinking about your kids' kids. He is not just gonna partner you with someone and tell them to say, put it on my heart to pursue you, just to say that this is your husband, ma'am. So imagine you pray that prayer, God, if you want this to be a thing, put it on his heart to pursue me. And then this nigga called you talking about God's putting it on my heart to pursue you. I'm telling you, the Lord knows his children so well, because my head would pop clean off my neck. I would get so stressed out. I feel like I would just get stressed out. I would get stressed out. I would be like, this is literally my husband. And we're on the phone. Or I would do that. Or maybe I would just be annoying and I'd be like, yeah, okay, go ahead and pursue a 3-carat radiant cut. Okay, I want a white gold band. How about that? Go ahead and pursue that. And then call me back. Bye, babe, love you. Like, I feel like that would be it. Or the unhealed version of me would just be like, LOL, blocked. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I don't even. She was talking about that and they were like, oh my gosh. Like, you know how I love, like, I just love girls. Like, I'm such a girl's girl. I love hearing girls talk about like guys they like and they're just like, and our voices just get so high. And why am I so excited? I feel like I can't breathe. But seriously, you're not supposed to breathe through your mouth. You're supposed to breathe through your nose. So let me just pause. Calm down. Why am I getting so excited and emotional all of a sudden? I don't even know. Okay, Siki, seriously, it's not funny anymore. You have stuff to do. Get it together. Anyways, so then her friend was like, they're talking. And while I'm on the treadmill, Laura was talking to me. And I was like, wait a minute. What's that you say, Jack? What's that you say, Jackie? You are friends with this man, and then the Lord put it on his heart to pursue you. Girl, when I tell you, that made me so happy, because I was thinking, and even though I made a video like literally like 2.5 seconds ago about how like, don't worry about how God is gonna partner you with your spouse. Don't worry about that stuff. I worry about it, LOL. So I literally was like talking to the Lord a couple of days ago, and I was like, Lord, so not to be annoying, I know we've had this conversation a time or two, but tell me how this is supposed to work. Cause I'm looking and it's just not looking the way it's supposed to look to me, Lord. I know you know what you're doing, God. I know you know what you're doing. I just want to make sure everything is okay up there. Okay? If there's any way I can help you, you let me know. Okay? And he didn't say a word. Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, a couple of days ago, I started getting real stressed out. And I was like, God, like, how is this going to work? And I almost wanted to be like, God, I want this as quick as possible. And then I was like, Siki, no, you don't. You shut up, okay? You shut up, because it's gonna happen at the right time, okay? But anyways, so I got happy because I had told the Lord, like, so this is what happens. I'll be feeling so good about life. Then I make the mistake of getting on social media. And not just any social media, specifically Instagram, somehow I always end up on like the manosphere side of Instagram. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I like Christian content, and sometimes that stuff is like captioned like trad wife or something, and so I don't even know how it happens, but it just happens. And so I end up on like the manosphere side of Instagram, and this guy was like, you know, the guy you want is probably sleeping with like, you know, a bunch of different women right now, and he has access to all of these baddies, and he's just smashing them constantly, and you're at home reading your Bible thinking that he's gonna come and get you. And I was literally like, he was like, when really you should just get up and go outside and, you know, meet the guy. But the thing is this, I like to go out. I actually do enjoy going out and dancing. I'm not against it. But when I go out with the specific intention of like meeting a guy, it just sucks. Like, it doesn't matter if I have a certain guy in mind, I'm like, I know he'll be out where I'm going, or if like, I'm already talking to someone and I'm gonna link up with them. It just, I don't know. I mean, this is like all from the past. I haven't dated in 16,000 years. Well, since last year. But it's just different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's not, I don't like it. And so when I saw that post, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, the man that I want is screwing 16 girls. Like, what? He's screwing all these baddies? What the heck? And I'm at home literally reading my Bible. Like, what the heck? And I started getting so stressed out. And I do think I need to like get outside more, but at the same time I don't, because why? Like, I don't even live in an area where it's that fun to go out. So why do I need to be outside? You know? But I don't know, it just really stressed me out, right? And then I hear Jackie say what she said about Preston. And I was like, Lord, you're right. Who gotta go outside? Who needs to go outside? Not I. Because that's what I told God last year. I was like, God, you know I'm not dating anymore. Because last year, you guys, it was the most humiliating time of my life. Like, it was a joke. Last year felt like a sick joke to me, honestly. Last year was actually a sick joke to me, honestly. But I had told God after then, I was like, I'm not going to even like anybody or even entertain the thought of anybody. Because I tried dating apps and like all that stuff. And it just was not for me. Call me old fashioned. Hey, it was not for me. The men on dating apps are a different kind of sassy. It's like the weirdest. It's almost like you're in an alternate universe. It's so weird. Like, if you don't respond to them in a certain period of time, they get mad at you. Like, it's really weird. And sometimes, and like most of the time, it's men you've never met. So it's like, why are you mad at me if I don't even know you from a can of paint? Like, you're weird. That just gave me so much hope, because I was like, I'm not going outside. Like, and it's not that I'm not going outside because I get nervous around men or any of that. I'm super outgoing. I love being around people. My whole thing is when I go outside with the intention of meeting niggas, I don't know what it is, but something happens in the atmosphere or something where every man that comes around me just pisses me off. And then, because every man around me, like, pisses me off, I can't just turn that off in my brain. Every man I encounter after then starts to piss me off. And I'm like, this is not healthy. Like, this is not normal. So I just stop going out. And then when I don't go out and when I don't date, like when I'm not dating apps, everything's great. So I'm not gonna mess up all that progress. Like, girl, you kidding me? Absolutely not, ma'am. Yeah, that was a really long way of me telling you that dating gives me the ick, okay? Dating gives me the ick for the entire male species. It's not healthy, it's not normal, but I can't change who I am as a person. And I think it also gives me the ick because I feel like, you know how girls feel like they have to be a certain way around guys? I feel like sometimes guys are the same way, and they like will do stuff and it's just like, nigga, what are you like, what do you, or they'll say stuff and it's just so corny. Like, it's just like, oh my gosh. Like, I was out a while ago, like a really long time ago, with this girl. She's cool, but we're different. She's like a boy crazy kind of girl and I'm like a more like chill kind of girl. Not like chill, but I'm just more like, I'm a girl's girl. Like, I like being around girls. I don't have to be around niggas to have fun, basically. Because they, like I said, they piss me off and stress me out sometimes. But the right niggas are cool. But anyway, so we were out with these guys and like one of them just would not shut up. Like, he was talking and he's like, you know, like I'm an alpha male, you know, just regurgitating all of this social media babble that we hear constantly. I'm an alpha male, and you know, you gotta move in silence, and you know, real gangsters move in silence. I'm just like, he's like, I ain't really gotta say too much, I ain't really gotta do too much. I'm like, nigga, what are you talking about? Because you have not shut up this whole time. Like, I'm an actual bonafide Chatty Cathy, and you're out talking me, sir, little Mr. Alpha Male. I was like, Lord, I can't do it anymore. I just can't date anymore because look at the material of it all. Look at the material of it all. Like, what is this? What are you talking about? What alpha male has ever fixed his lips to say he's an alpha male? What is going on with the world? Like, oh my gosh, get outside and touch some grass. And so he was just like, he kept saying that, like, I'm an alpha male. And it was just, everything was just so corny. Like at one point, one of the guys was like, you know, I'm so bougie. I was just like, I can't, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Enough is enough. When a grown nigga fixes his lips to say, I'm so bougie, like what is going, no. Yeah, it was just a mess. After then, I was like, I'm not dating anybody until the Lord himself give me the okay. And when I say the okay, I mean the Lord drops that man in my lap because I'm not going out. Like I just have no desire to go to a bar. I don't drink, number one. And number two, the bars in my area, it's not like there's like there's actually, no, that place is actually really far from me. But there are cool areas around me that like have live music and like there's dancing and all that stuff. But this is not, I'm not in my outside area. I'm in my buckle down and focus area. That's why I'm getting ready for a self-tape every other day. Like I'm not going outside to be pissed off with niggas. Like no. I felt so encouraged when I heard her say that, because I was like, when I heard that man say like, yeah, the man that you're waiting for, the man that God has for you, and the way he was talking, he almost had me in the first half. He really did, because, well, he definitely had me in the first half. Because he was just like saying it with so much conviction. He's like, yeah, like the man that you want is, you know, he's smashing right now. Like has access to a lot of beautiful women, and you're sitting here at home. He's like, you need to go out and make yourself available. And I'm just like, I literally, in real life, just don't want to do that. As crazy as it sounds, I literally am just not trying to quote unquote make myself available, because that just sounds miserable. And I feel like if you've dated, you know, like you just like when you're outside and like you're just around niggas constantly, it just gets extremely draining. And it just takes like, I feel like I don't know, it's like men are so cool. Like men really are cool, like useful, intelligent beings, you know? But when they're in like certain environments, they're just so annoying. And I just feel like the man that I want anyways isn't even outside like that in the first place. So what am I doing? You know, meet a bunch of frogs, you know? I don't know. And I already know what I want, so. And even if I didn't know what I wanted, I wouldn't be that worried about it, because like I said in my last video, I've picked all the last niggas that I was with, that I've dated, and look at the results that's gotten me. Exactly. So I'm not too stressed out about it anymore. Dating just gives me the ick. You know, some people love it, some people hate it, but I can't do it. Now, if I'm like actually like with someone, like we're together, like not even together, but like we're seeing each other like on like a regular basis, I'm cool with dating. It's like fun. Like it's fun to go out with a nigga and just be cute with a nigga. Like, but doing the whole like, what's your favorite color? What do you do for fun? What are your hobbies? I'm not doing that, sorry. Not doing it. Not doing it. I'm putting my foot down. Okay? And I even told God, I said, God, just drop the man I want in my lap. How about that? Like, if you can part the Red Seas, surely you can drop this nigga right in my lap. Surely. Okay? Surely you can drop this man right in my lap and, you know, just tell us what to do and, you know, the whole shebang. Because I've never, like, you know, been the type of person. I've never been in a situation where, like, I've dated in God. Like, right now I'm in God, right? Love it here. But I've never dated in this headspace. Like, when I first got saved and I became celibate and everything, I was not thinking about dating, because I literally had the full... First of all, I just wasn't even around people that I was attracted to. Number one. And I didn't even think about dating in terms of like a marriage thing. Like I just thought about dating in terms of like going out and trying new restaurants and like, you know, going shopping or whatever. But now that I'm like, I don't know, like really in God, and I see the purpose of like dating and like courting, I'm like, what the heck? Like, am I gonna do this in real life? That's crazy. And then, oh wait, okay, sorry. There's another part of this story. So then after that, or was it before then? After that, I remembered that I saw this post on Tiffany Montgomery's page, or like her Facebook or something, and this girl was like, how are you supposed to meet our husband if we don't go outside? And this girl was like, ask God to have him send you a DM. She was like, that's how I met my man, because I didn't want to go outside. And I was like, I love it here. Like, God, okay, send me a DM, babes. How about that? Send me a DM, fall on my lap. I don't know the details. I don't really even care about the details at this point. Like, just make it happen at the right time, though. Like, after I get all my stuff figured out and you get all your stuff figured out, then we can just figure everything else out. But there's no rush on this. There's no rush. All right. It's like, would you rush if the process of getting ready? No, because at the end, no matter how long it took you, it's always worth it. Even though I do the same makeup every single time I get on this app. And the funny thing is that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do like an actual makeup look one day with like lashes and real foundation. But I pretty much only get on here to film when I have a self-tape. And I can't have lashes and self-tapes. I can't have, you know, I can't be that cute. I have to be like a normal aspirational girl. I have to look relatable. Which, like, to me, honestly, is relatable. Like, everybody wears lashes. It's 2023. Grow up. Okay, kids. Our base is based. Okay? I just love how this looks because it just looks like me, but, like, smoother and shinier and pinky. I love pink. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so now it's just time for me to put on some powder at my eyelids because they can see that. And brows, mascara, say a little prayer, and get to self-taping. One of these days I'm gonna do like a BTS of my self-tapes because they're honestly like so funny. Like the other day I had one and I don't know what was going on with me, but it was horrible. Like I was looking at the camera. I was like cussing myself out in the camera. Yeah, it was really, really funny. I was like, what the F is wrong with you, Siki? Like snapping. And then afterwards I submitted it and I was like, girl, you did all that just to not, like, for it to not even be that big of a deal. Like I'm like, it's like crazy because like you do all this for a commercial. Acting is so funny. Like the process of it all is so funny. It's like you do so much work like for one thing and it's just not that serious. Like relax. It was just a really beautiful interview with Jackie Hill Perry. And she talked about like idolatry and how God was basically showing her like, you love everything I created, but you don't love me. And she was like, dang. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just, you know, we all have our moments. It was so funny to me too. Like I did that whole video, my celibacy video, and I actually watched it, and I really watched my uploads because if I watch them for too long, I'm going to delete them. I'm going to be like, okay, that was actually a really dumb, cringy joke. You're actually really embarrassing, and you think you're cute and funny, and you're not, you know. But I watched that video, and because sometimes I will like watch. This is so embarrassing, but I will go back and watch my videos as somebody else. Like I'll be like, let me see me from another person's perspective. So embarrassing. But I was watching the video, and I was just like, okay, yeah, period. You know, like I'm giving my little advice or whatever. And then as soon as I turn off that freaking video, like I'm not kidding y'all, a couple minutes later I got on, I must have been running errands, or I don't even know what I was doing. I think I was running errands because I had just left the gym. Yeah, bro. Right, so I saw that thing, I watched my video, I went to the gym, I had the Jackie Hill Perry podcast, the Be Simone one podcast playing. Then I go to the store, I get on Instagram, And that's when I see that guy talking about some like, you're the guy you're meant to be with, like the guy you're waiting for, the guy you're praying for is literally sleeping with a bunch of other women. Like he actually used a really cool analogy, and he's like, you know, you guys think of yourselves as like the princess in a castle and you're waiting for your prince, but your prince has a bunch of harems that he has access to, and like he's sleeping with them and yada yada yada. It was a pretty cool analogy. I think that's what got me. But it was like right after that, and then the Lord like reminded me like, hey, okay, so yeah. So just know that God can literally, cause like think about it like this: Jackie and Preston have met and became friends, and like now they're just best friends who are married, who happen to have kids together. Not happen to have, but you know, who have a family together, right? So if he can do that for her, he can certainly do it for you and me, ma'am. Okay, certainly. But I just thought it was funny how I did that whole video talking about something like, yeah, guys, like don't worry about what these niggas are doing. Don't worry about dating. And then I saw that post and I'm like, dang, maybe I do need to get dressed up. Maybe I do need to go outside. And then I ended up seeing the video with Jackie, and the Lord was like, no, you do not, ma'am. You're doing great. You keep doing what you're doing, sweet pea. Because the outside version of me is just so outside. I'm not much of a balanced girl. I'm an all or nothing kind of person. I don't believe in balance. I just had to let it go at this point in my life. Like, I don't know how to balance. When I was going out, and when I say when I was going out, I'm not talking about when I was in college or when I was in New York, when I had no responsibilities. I'm talking about like literally last year, I was going out and I would just be outside all night long. Like, ma'am, go home. There's nothing to even do in this whole city. What do you, go turn around and go home. What are you doing? Yeah, it was a mess. One time I like went out to a party, I drove home and I was at work and my agent called me and she was like, hey, are you ready for your callback? I was like, what callback? And she was like, the callback that you have in like an hour. Are you ready for it? Are you prepared? I was like, yeah, girl, really prepared, super prepared. I left work. I was like, yeah, guys, I'm so sorry. I have to go. I have a callback. I'm an actress. I have to go. And I left work. And mind you, I was so lit from the night before. I was still a little, you know, my eyes were all, my eyes were hanging all low. The lights were hurting me. Like, I was not callback ready. But girl, let me tell you something. I turned that thing on and I booked it. Yeah, but I made it work and I booked it. But that's how I realized, like, maybe I need to draw back a little bit. Maybe I'm doing a little bit too much. I've never been much of a balanced girl. I'm all or nothing. I hyperfixate. That's just how the Lord made me. That's how God made me. I'm a hyperfixator. So, yeah. But yeah, I can go outside maybe like once a year. I can go outside on people's birthdays. That's why I like to go outside. When it's somebody's birthday and I can go outside with them and then their birthday's over at midnight and now I know to just take my butt back inside. I don't need to be outside. So yeah. Gosh, who closed this thing? I have like superhuman strength when it comes to closing things. Like my mascara tubes and my water bottles are always closed so tight. Like, what are you protecting it from, ma'am? But yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, and obviously Jackie and Preston got married and like had kids together and like it all worked out. And now they're like partners in ministry and stuff and like it's a really cool marriage. It looks cool from the outside. Obviously I don't know the details. But they did a podcast a while back where I told you I hyperfixate, so I've watched like at least 13,000 other podcasts when I do cardio. But they did a podcast and they were talking about how like when they first got together they had this big fight. And like I think I like Jackie Hill Perry because she reminds me a lot of me. Like I think she said that like she had an issue with Preston and she's just like, well, I guess this is over. And that was so me because like when I have an issue with someone I'm like, oh man, all right, guess they're dead to me now. Like I don't even like think about like maybe we can talk, maybe we can figure this out. I'm just like, wow, that was really sad how our friendship or our relationship is just over for good now. Like it's kind of sad when I think about how many relationships I've probably ended, like not even all like romantic, but how many friendships I've ended over like a miscommunication or like a misunderstanding because I was just like, if we're having problems in this relationship, clearly we just should not be friends ever. Hello. But yeah, she was talking about how like when they first got together they had all these different issues and how they were gonna like break up and how they no they did break up. They broke up. Oh my gosh, this is probably so inspiring for someone. They broke up and then they got back together, and what happened was they had gotten back together and I think that like no, they broke up because like Preston said something that was like out of line to Preston said something that was out of line to Jackie. And that's when like that is when they ended up breaking up. And then this guy, no, like Preston's like discipler, like the guy that like discipled him was like, okay, well did you at least ask God about it? And he was like and so he like asked God, he's like, I prayed this half-hearted prayer. And then I'm telling this story so bad. I'll link everything I'm talking about, I'm gonna just link. Because when I do cardio, I just like will listen to all these things. And sometimes I just don't want to hear music. Music. Sometimes I just don't want to hear music. And so I'll watch like a bunch of podcasts. But I'll link everything that I'm referring to because I watch like one a day because they're about 30 minutes to an hour, so just about one cardio session. But yeah, they're really enlightening, and it also shows me how much I need to work on like conflict resolution as opposed to just shutting down, because sometimes I'll be like just block me. How about that? How about we just call it quits? But yeah, some really good information. But yeah, they broke up and they got back together. It was like some really sweet story that I was like, when I was on the treadmill and I was listening to it, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was so sweet. I forgot what happened. I think that like he texted her like, I love you or something after God told him to. And then she was like, come over, and she like made him a nice meal. And at first when she was like, I texted him come over after you texted her he loved you, I was like, girl, you are trying to get smashed, because talk about come over, nigga, stay where you at and we can meet at where can we meet? Where's the place I want to go to? We can meet at Hyde Park. Okay, we can meet at the park. We can meet, at the beach. We don't need to be meeting at my apartment, ma'am, sir. But she was like, no, it was like early in the day. Like we were pure-ish when we got married. And then they got back together and they got married, and like she got pregnant on her honeymoon. How crazy is, could you imagine? That is so crazy to me. Like imagine being on your honeymoon and you're just smashing, just having a ball, and it's a girl. Like I would be so pissed. Okay, let me enjoy at least the first year of marriage. Like, there's no need to be pregnant within the first year of marriage. But it was also really cool to me too, because remember she was saying in the video, like, I didn't want to she was saying in the podcast, but it was also cool to me because she was saying in the podcast, like, you know, I didn't want to turn to the Lord because I was worried about, I didn't want to be straight, right? And that was like one of her serious concerns. She was like, I just did not want to be straight. Like, I didn't know how that was going to work. And homegirl got to marry her best friend, got to have little mini versions of them, 4 mini versions of them, like walking around her. Like, that's so sweet. Like, I just love that. And it just shows too how all things work together. Like she said, she was going through it. She like freaking, you know, she was going through it. And the whole thing worked out in her favor because now she is something else. And on top of that, she gets to be herself, which I think is pretty cool. Okay. So yeah, guys, I don't know what this was even about, what the resolution is, but I hope it did what it was supposed to do. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you. Yeah, I don't even know why I turned my camera on, to be honest, but whatever. Get this Maybelline Color Stay. I've had it for the last 18 years. Go like this. Okay, just around the perimeter, rub it in. Okay. Lip gloss. Oh yeah, I should have put Vaseline on. Oh my gosh. I need to get more lip gloss. This stuff is done. Look at that. It's like your lips, but better. It's like, these are my lips. Literally, like, these are my lips, but cuter. Like, juicier. Look at that. Is the white stuff on it? Hold on. Girl, a couple weeks ago, I did a whole video and there's just white stuff all over my lips. And I was like, I was editing it and I was like, so be it. Because if you think I'm gonna re-record this video, absolutely not. So we're nice and ready for our my skin. Hold on, put my top on. My top, where is it? I love anything off the shoulder. Cause I love my shoulders, love my shoulders. What's wrong with me? Why would I do that? Saying LOL out loud is so cringe. It's really embarrassing. Okay. Well, all I need are some earrings. We're good to go. That's it for this video, you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Like I said, I really don't even know what the purpose of this video is, but I hope I did what I needed to do. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.